All right, season 3, episode 19, Hell Money. We got a bunch of familiar faces, and we got some big trouble in Little Chinatown.
Yes.
We got B.D. Wong, we got Lucy Liu, we got James Hong from Big Trouble in Little China. Good old David Lopan himself makes an appearance in here quite a bit, actually. He's a big character. So, yeah, we're dealing with some Squid Game action here. These guys are betting their body parts, basically, their organs. And we got our main guy here who is just trying to save his daughter, played by a very young Lucy Liu, before she was anybody. And he is going into this underground gambling circuit that these guys put their organs on the line. If their name is drawn in the reaping from Hunger Games, their name is called out. Then they have a opportunity to draw the winning token, which is like gold. And other than that, the other things in there, which your odds are not in your favor. May the odds not ever be in your favor. A lot of Hunger Games references.
Yeah.
But it's similar, in some ways. But yeah, you draw out a token, and that token says what body part they're removing.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And it's
just brutal.
all rigged. So
yes.
It's just whatever body part they want.
We do find out that this is all rigged.
Yeah.
This is a dark episode.
It is really dark. It has a very dark ending as well.
It does. It's like this criminal underworld, like the dark underbelly of society, and just like the darkest, most depraved humans on Earth. I mean, to take advantage of desperate people for money and stealing their organs from their corneas and certain, just things that they can live with. And then they keep coming back for more because they're still desperate. His daughter's dying. He has no ability to take care of his daughter and pay for her medical bills. Maybe that's why we should have a single-payer healthcare system. But yeah, he can't. And so he does this to himself, and he first loses his eye, and when he comes back the second time, they're going to take it all. I mean, at that point, I don't think he loses anything else from there, right? It's just the eye, and then for the second time, it's going to be like, it looked like they were going to take something else for a second, but then it was like, oh, I think they're taking the heart, they're taking it all.
Yeah, it was going to be like the heart for him, I think.
Wow.
So, yeah, messed up, super messed up.
Just insane.
It's so crazy.
Like, it's so interesting to me that you would even go to this length as opposed to just... Because what you're doing is illegal as all hell. So let's think about the logistics of this. I don't think this is realistic at all. All this does is it creates way more witnesses to your crimes. Right? So there's a whole bunch of desperate people who've got nothing to lose, who you are exposing to your criminal organization. You're bringing them into the same location every time, from what I could tell. And you are killing them because they're ending up dead or missing, right? They're burned to a crisp. That's how they get into this case. It would be just so much easier to just abduct people and take their organs.
Sure.
Right? Like, the fact that they're... Now, the one thing they do have on their side... Now, they could just pay off this person or start their own clinic or whatever, but the way that this works, sort of, is that these people come in for, like, an examination in a doctor's office to have their organs, like, looked at or whatever. And then they get signed off on whatever thing... And then they disappear, and they never come back.
Yeah.
And this is something that the chick who lets them in tells them. But to me, I just am like, this. You're going to such insane lengths. This is such a movie plot, because in reality, I just find that this is so absurd, such absurd lengths to go to when you're already committing such atrocities and such crimes, that why would you expose yourself like this outside of just, kidnapping someone and taking their organs?
I mean, yeah, I think it's like kind of unnecessary exposure for sure. But it's just a horrible thing in general that they're doing. As you said, like the fact that they're specifically targeting like desperate people, which, I mean, those would be the only kind of people for the most part that would be willing to give up their organs.
But this is what I'm talking about when it comes to that, because it's like, it would be one thing if they were trying to like morally grapple with it. So if they inject some kind of a like caveat in their head that they can, turn to when they start to maybe feel bad, they can be like, well, I mean, we're just trying to give them a chance, right? But we find out that the game is completely rigged and that never had any chance at winning. So you can't even make that argument of, well, maybe they're doing it just so they can justify their actions. They literally
just don't care. Yeah.
Right.
And even the like head guy, whenever he's talking to the father, and he's like, you might get lucky, like luckier than I did or whatever. Like, I won. Which is a total lie.
And it would also be another thing, too, if, like, they were legally signing over their body parts when they entered this contest. Where it was like, I have the legal right of it. This is my body. I have full autonomy. I can sell my body parts if I want to. And I'm entering this under a legal transaction. I
don't know that you can do that, though. I think that there's, like...
No, I don't think you can. I'm just saying if they have
do
that.
surgery in, like... a hospital. Like, I think there's like limitations, because then everybody would, not everybody, but there'd be a lot more people doing like
but this is what I'm saying, if they had a legit operation where they had but there's no way anyone would sign off on this ethically, right? So it would never work no matter what. I'm just saying, if there was that, then maybe you could argue it. But my point always is just coming back to the same thing. This is just such an elaborate thing for no real reason outside of like them kind of giving it up willingly. But are they? I mean, as soon as they find out what's happening, they're trying to run. They're trying to do whatever they can. But this guy did come back multiple times. The level of desperation you'd have to be at.
Sure.
To sell your body parts to try to save a loved one. I mean, this guy is a hero, realistically.
Yeah, he's trying to do whatever he can, and it's like so sad because his daughter has like a treatable form of cancer that like they just don't have the money and they don't have insurance, but like otherwise she would be treatable. So that's like really sad because that's very realistic in America. Like a lot of people deal with that kind of thing where they have a treatable illness of some kind, but they can't afford or like get treatment, so then they die or they get worse or whatever. And so that's a huge bummer part of this episode, is that it just kind of reminds you about how hard it is to get healthcare in America. When
broken
it should not be.
System is.
And
I don't need any reminding of that.
Yeah. This episode, too, is kind of interesting because Mulder and Scully have a hard time, I feel, investigating this case because they're kind of up against, like, a cultural boundary.
Yeah.
Which, you think that... What's his name?
D.D. Wong's character?
You think that he's, like, helping them, and he is a little bit, but then obviously there's a reveal that he's been paid off to protect the like games that are happening, or the whatever you want to call it, the auction thing, which is a very big bummer because he's like, he feels bad only after he's seen the dying daughter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's like there's so many other people
out there. He does come out and do
there.
The right thing.
He does, but it's definitely like too little too late kind of a thing.
I mean, he pays the ultimate price and is burned alive.
Yeah, that's why the ending is so brutal.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
It is a bummer, but you said too little too late, so fuck him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Burning someone alive in a furnace is, I mean...
No, I wouldn't want him burned alive.
That's insane.
But...
That's absolutely insane.
He's also partly responsible for probably a lot of people losing their lives, so...
Yeah.
There's also that to contend with.
Yeah. They find a frog in a body.
Yes.
And they go into this place and they see all these, Chinese medicine remedies, which, a lot of people stick their nose up at and think is like witchcraft and, like witch doctors use this kind of crap. But like, people don't seem to understand that their medicine is, whatever medicine you buy is derived from plants.
Yeah.
Like we have to get it. Like these edible substances come from somewhere. They're just more compounded most oftentimes, but they have way more side effects.
Yeah.
Most oftentimes. So I don't know. There's a lot of argument between Western medicine and Eastern medicine. But it is interesting to see on display here and how much of these people. But I'll tell you what, man, every time we see someone who's like 120 years old, they're never in this fucking country.
No. Yeah. I mean,
so,
there's a lot of reasons for that.
So there is that. And let's see. What else was I going to talk about here? Yeah, I love how. And it looks like the guy's going to get away with it too.
Yes, it does.
Right? So, like,
Yep.
he's like, I didn't do anything wrong.
And none of the guys that are there want to testify. They all say that they're just a part of a club.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So
Yeah.
they have nobody, and then they kill the one guy whose testimony could maybe bring him down.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, he gets off.
Yeah.
And continues to do what he's doing, presumably.
Yeah, it's a super dark episode.
Yes.
Super dark episode.
Especially because this isn't like... I know that there's some... like when the people are getting operated on, they see their loved ones. Like, so it's like kind of like they're seeing apparitions. So that's, I guess,
the X-File
paranormal,
part of it.
but not really. That's not like why they're there. They're like they're talking about ghosts. Like, that is why they're there, I suppose. But I feel like this is a very like cut and dry, like
It's a
crime
straightforward
episode.
yeah.
And the fact that they like aren't able to
stop it,
yeah, is like a bummer.
for sure. Yeah, it's a tragedy. And Lucy Liu's character, I'm sure she died.
Probably.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, she didn't.
Wait, she got
They got her on the
That's
the
right,
list.
she got her on the donor list.
She lived.
But that doesn't mean that she lives.
That's true. Well, I'm going to say she lived because she got whatever she needed.
Just because you get on the donor list don't mean you live.
She got it fast enough and she lived.
And that's what you need to believe because of how dark this episode is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she's got a percentage of
definitely a
chance that
chance
she
that she
definitely
doesn't
did not
get it.
make it.
Yeah.
She has probably a pretty good chance. A lot of people die waiting for organs, right? Organ transplants.
Yeah.
So they said they put her on the list. Where'd they put her on the list? At the bottom?
I know.
You know?
I don't know. Depends on what organ she's trying to get and how common or easy it is to get it.
Well, sure, you have to be a match.
Yeah.
Right, that's number one. So even if you're at the top of the list, doesn't mean whatever heart comes in is yours. You have to be a compatible donor with that heart. But it goes through you first, and then moving down the line until it's compatible. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to believe that she got it, but with the tone of this episode, I'm gonna say she died.
Okay.
Just because everything else is so dark.
Yeah.
It just feels fitting that she didn't make it.
I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, hell money. Right. I didn't really understand the hell money thing as much. It's like they find a piece of it in the thing that's like the clue that leads them to it. Mm-hmm. He said something about it, but I honestly forgot what it was. B.D. Wong's character from...
I think he said... Yeah, I'm
some
forgetting
kind of
that
like,
too. It's during some festival that they have, I thought.
Yeah.
That it's like
I
used
don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Pay the ghost.
It's been a while since we watched it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is what it is. So it's only the title of the fucking episode.
Yeah.
It should be
no big deal.
Should be called Depressing Ass Episode. That'd be a terrible name.
It would be a bad
Don't let
name.
me name episodes of this show.
Yeah.
All right, that's that. Bye.
Bye.